Craig Schultz, is he going to make the trip?
Yeah, he trained really well today. We're wrapped for the way he's prepared. He was ill last week, which really was the only reason he did play. He was ready to really push the boundaries of that, but he'll play this week, yeah.
So you want to sweeping through a bit of the group? Is there anyone in doubt at all for Friday night?
No one's in doubt. It's probably been 2 weeks now, and we were probably worse last week, to be honest. And we just use a bit of what we learned in the old times of, like, don't come in if you're sick, and it's not a bad policy.
Bobby Hill, will we see him make the trip?
Bobby's sick. He's one that's sick, but he wasn't going to play anyway. He's still week to week at the moment, so no, he won't be available.
So just parking the illness, that's more through the personal side of things that Bobby won't play?
No, he's sick at the moment, so he hasn't trained this week.
Yeah.
So that's sort of put him back a bit, but it's a week to week thing with Bobby.
Yeah.
How is he?
Sick.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think the reality is when we put someone's name up there as personal, we'd like to keep it that way, and it's for a reason. And we'll support him around what that looks like.
A rare road trip for you guys. I think first time since May, since you've travelled. Are you doing it any differently?
No, we're going to go up there tomorrow, and we're going up with a really strong team, and we're excited for what the game is. It's a big game on Friday night, first time ever in Gold Coast history. We're wrapped to be part of it.
How big is that test, given the way they've been playing recently?
Yeah, I think any team in the 8 right now is a challenge for all teams, and Gold Coast are really hard to play against. Their contest is strong and clearance side's strong, but we're looking forward to getting up there with our Magpie Army. They travel everywhere around Australia to watch us play, and this one will be no different.
I think it's your first game against the top 8 side since end of May, roughly. Is it a bigger test than normal? Have you changed anything?
That's what happens when you play them all in the first 10 weeks. But no, every week's the same. We approach it like no other. That we just want to attack them with what we can, and then take away some of their strengths, and I'm sure they're trying to do the same to us.
Three-prong forward line for Gold Coast is a threat to a lot of sides, but without Billy Frampton, how do you go managing that? And do you look for reinforcements for a bit more height down there to partner with Darcy?
Yeah, we sort of probably going to play a little bit undermanned at times, through rotations, whatever. But we'd like to think our system's going to catch that, and whether it's a couple of extra support in the air or on the ground, our system's been pretty strong. I think we're currently the best points against in the competition for a reason, because it's not just one person. We miss Billy, and we're looking forward to he's training really well. Look forward to him coming back in the coming weeks, but we're going to rely heavily on system. Yeah.
You talked about Gold Coast contest and clearance. Where do you see that aspect of your game at the moment? It felt like it took a step forward against Carlton.
Yeah, a big step forward. Our contest is sort of it was slowly on the decline, and we weren't that concerned about it to some degree. It's actually worth going and watching every contest. If you bored on a Saturday afternoon, go watch everyone's contest, because they measure free kicks. That's a contest. The ground ball's a contest, and so is grabbing it out of the ruck. That's a contest. So some parts of it we go, you can have that one because you take it out of the ruck, kick it straight back to us. But there's other parts of contests you've got to get right. Like if you don't get it, then you don't get territory. And as I said after the game, we went to work on that, and our aerial contest in particular was a real strength of the night. We'll see if that's a pattern of behaviour.
How much has Tom Mitchell made a difference in that space, and how's he recovered from his first AFL game back?
Yeah, Tom recovered really well, and we're excited for his first game back for 14 months, and he'll play again this week and looks really hungry to get involved in a game like this.
How do you manage Mitchell, Long and Sidebottom in the same midfield?
I think we've got flexibility in our team to do multiple things. It's reality is that they're all somewhat similar, but we've got flexibility for a couple of those to play a few different roles, so you might have to just wait and see on that one.
You spoke the other night about reaching that level of qualifying for finals. How do you reframe that now? Do you look at top 4, top 2, that sort of thing? Yeah, I'm about to do that this afternoon. We had a deliberate plan around what 14 wins looks like, and most teams are wanting that at the start of the year, but to achieve it right now is something we're really proud of, but you've got to reset quickly, and so I'll do that this afternoon and get ourselves moving towards what the next 6 or 7 rounds look like. Michael Voss dropped some death threats, a death threat. What's your response to that?
Yeah, it's quite sad, isn't it? Like there's a boundary line, and then you step over that and you've got your home life, and then there's reality of like, come on, let's be better than that as a society. There's a job. He's doing a job, and he's a great person, Michael. And I hope he's going okay. Hopefully the AFL just squashed that one. But this is the reality of the business we're in. There's people are able to just throw stones from afar. Ideally, we tidy it up.
Have you picked up the phone in recent days?
Yeah, I have in multiple times. I've reached out to Vossi, and it was his birthday during the week, so he's getting a bit older in the tooth. So no, I hope him and his family are going okay in this time.
Kane Corn suggested resting Jack Crisp last night. How would Crisp react to that, and would you consider it?
Yeah, I looked at dropping him just before the King's birthday to have a bit of fun with him. The leadership group wanted me to do it, but I couldn't do that to him. No, he's been in great form for us, and I had a conversation about that. Like if the body's not in order to perform, hey, let's not worry about numbers. Let's worry about performance. And no, his body's been in good order. It's been remarkable how he gets himself up to train and play every week. But if there was a grey time, we certainly wouldn't use a record to manage him.
In-season competition, where do you stand on something like that?
Without all the information, I probably can't comment on all of it, but I've seen snippets, and I'm somewhat of a fan. Yeah, I think that anything we can continue to grow the game, I think it'll be good for us. The draw itself is always uneven and not equal, and we have a lot of games in the MCG, and some teams travel more, and you've got all different. Everyone's got their own story of the draw. Not everyone plays each other twice. Teams are going to play Richmond twice before we might have played them once. Like, it's just like, whoa, how does this all work? So some form of, maybe balancing all that out, I think I'm all for, and we want to grow our audience and not stand still. I like it.